Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be discussing the topic of archery and if it's actually viable in Elden Ring in PvE and PvP environments. So to start off, I'm going to be showing you my build that I ran through the main PvE game with. As you can see here, I've got 50 Vigor, 29 Endurance, 27 Strength, 40 Dexterity, and 30 Arcane. I started off with the Bandit class, and the reason why is because I wanted to have a higher Arcane at lower levels to help my status effects get procced. So what I have here actually is what's called a high Dexterity, low Strength quality build, and the reason why I've got 27 Strength actually is because in Elden Ring and FromSoft games in general, if you're at 27 Strength and you two-hand a weapon, which you always do with a bow, you actually go to 40 Strength if you're at 27. At higher levels, there's different variables to how much virtual strength you get from two-handing, but at 27, it's to 40. And I wanted to go for kind of a 40-40-30, so that's why I'm at 27 strength. You could also go 40-40 with a base Arcane if you weren't looking to do status effects and just do pure physical. I believe the Misbegotten Shortbow is the best for that one. But as you can see here, I actually chose to use the Serpent Bow for the status effect procs. I absolutely loved it for the poison. It actually injects a deadlier type of poison than your standard poison, so it's awesome when you use it with the Serpent arrows. Then I also used the Composite Bow, which I really like the way it looks. How the damage it does with this specific build is actually relatively high. And when you pair it with something like a Bleed Arrow, and you have Barrage on, you can actually bleed out bosses and even PvP players very quickly with it. So as an archer, you actually have a lot of options for status effects, which is why I like Arcane as well. Sleep arrows were really awesome in the Godskin Apostle duo, because you could actually put one to sleep while you fought the other one. And there's tons of ads around the world that you could actually put to sleep or bleed out, poison, scarlet rot, all kinds of things. So this build was really interesting. Like, there was always an arrow for a situation, and I really loved that. So now I'm going to talk a bit about the talisman choice I have for this build. So in PvE, I actually used the Arrows Sting and Arrows Reach talismans, but in PvP, I'm actually replacing the Arrows Reach with the Dragon Crest Great Shield. The reason why is because I don't find myself needing the range in PvP nearly as much as I did in PvE. Then also, I'm going to be using the Erdtree's Favor +2 for the stamina and health it provides, as well as the Crimson Amber Medallion, no surprise there, for also the health it provides in PvP. But an emphasis on the Arrow Sting talisman once again. It is very important to have this on because it actually increases your damage relatively well in PvE and PvP alike, making you actually do competitive damage. Without it, you're going to be hitting lower than most builds, and you already do even with it. So I really say that you probably need this one. So the backup weapon I chose for PvP is the short sword, just in case you need to pull it out for something. Some people just don't allow you to be an archer 99% of the time, even though it's completely viable. I would suggest having a backup weapon just in case you do, say, get a parry or you need to roll catch somebody really fast to finish him off. The short sword's really good because it actually has a unique heavy attacks that no other straight sword has, so it's really awesome and I recommend it. But being a quality build like this, there's so many options you could use, so just use whatever backup weapon you're most comfortable with and you enjoy. The Warhawk Talon's a super good option, and I also do use the Bandit's Knife, or I think it's called the Great Knife, for the riposte damage if I get a parry. So that all being said, I do fully believe that for the first time in a FromSoft game, archery is viable for both PvE and PvP. I'm really happy about it. I enjoyed my playthrough, and this character is actually one of my favorites. Though in PvP it is quite tedious at times because some people do try to shut you down by just running into you constantly, which totally makes sense. I mean, they can't just let you win, but that's where the Composite Bow really comes in handy, because you do have your backstep attacks, your roll attacks, your sprint attacks, and it's awesome, and you can really keep people on their toes with it. Also, it's an extremely good counter weapon to that. Another bow that I really like in PvP and PvE alike is the Albinoric Longbow. That one is very hard-hitting, and the Mighty Shot weapon art on it, or the Enchanted Shot weapon art, really make it just absolutely a boss destroyer, and I just love that. So in PvP, I really recommend running the Serpent Arrows and the Bloodbone Arrows that are craftable, because the bleed arrows really help you push that damage that you generally do not have without them, and the poison arrows help you keep people scared. They have that constant poison on them, it pressures them like they need to act or they're gonna die. So it really supplements your aggression really well. So the sleep arrows, or the Trina's arrows, are extremely good as well, but they are in limited supply, so make sure when you're using those, you know that you need to use them. Like somebody you really want to take out in PvP, or you're fighting a godskin or a really hard enemy you know can go to sleep. Like, that's when you use those arrows. Rotbone arrows are in a similar placement as the sleep arrows for me, where they're absolutely amazing in PvP and PvE. But the butterflies required to craft them are very rare, and they do not spawn when you rest at a bonfire. So when you're using them, make sure that you know you need to use them, because you can't just always have them. So overall, I would say Archer is around a C tier PvP character and an A tier PvE character. I really recommend it if you're looking for something that is very status effecty, not meta, but very unique and still very viable. And honestly, this is the first time the Archer actually has this much they can do in a From Software game, so I really suggest just make one, see if you like it, or even just put a bow on and see how you can use it on your normal quality or dex or strength builds. But that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I really hope that you guys stick around, watch the rest of the montage, comment, interact, and I hope to see you guys for the next build, which I will actually be doing a Dark Magic Hexer. So I hope I see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and have a good day.
çok sayır mı